How you doing? So let's talk about a very important topic is who should be fired from Kabam. Okay, this is a very important topic to talk about. This is when it comes to MCOC, it's an all-time low for sure when it comes to Kabam's profits as well as community, man. If you had to say about the game, how we feel about the game, it's definitely in an all-time low. And I was gonna make this video saying that should Kabam fire Kabam Mike? And for you wondering, this is not original Kabam Mike. This is Karate Mike. So should they fire Karate Mike? That was my original title for this video, but I felt like that was like not being fair. Surely Karate Mike is to blame for the game. Uh, the way it is now, how bad it is when it comes to the community, how they feel about the game, and their profit. Surely he has. You could definitely blame Karate Mike, but blaming Karate Mike for all of it, that's just not fair. There's just more than Karate Mike is the reason why this game is failing so bad. Okay, there's Kabam Crash. There's also MSD. There's also fintech that could definitely has something to do with the game the way it is now. And what I might mean by that, and what am I saying? Just so let's talk about the sales first. As you could see, it's an all-time low. It's looked like about half of what they used to be on the peak. And the crazy part is in 2020 compared to is now when it's lowest now compared to what it was peak in 2020. Surely they had something to do with COVID too, probably, but uh they're compared to 2020, compared to what it is now, they had triple the sales what they used to have in 2020. Okay, triple the sales. Okay, and yet they're doing only half of the sales what they did compared to 2020, which is kind of mind-boggling. Why that is? I mean, that the really bad part is, imagine if they didn't triple their sales compared to 2020. Imagine if they would actually have less profit now if they didn't do that. Now that would be just completely the end of MCOC without a doubt. Because the way their MCOC now is, how they have sale pretty much every month, if not every other month, it's not gonna last very long. And Kabam, I don't know, probably is something to do with Kabam Crash mostly, is they're catering to the top 1%, selling champions that cost thousands of dollars. Okay, so they're catering to the top 1%. And I'm willing to bet, and really even in the economy, in the real world as well, that the bottom 99% of people in the economy, and also, most importantly, when we talk about the game in MCOC, willing to bet the bottom 99% of the players who spend on this game still makes majority of Kabam's profit than the top 1%. Without a doubt, the top 1% of Kabam players make a lot of their profits without a doubt, but I still think they're negating the bottom 99% of players by doing so when it comes to all these sales. So they're really just negating the bottom 99% of players, and I think a lot of people are done with the game because of that, because they just don't want to spend money. They don't feel like it's worth spending money in the game. Not to mention all the bugs that's going on in the game that just people tired of, why they don't want to play the game anymore. And really, it's just been a continued downward spiral when it comes to this game. So another screw up Kabam has made. Let's take a look at it. So another screw up Kabam has made. So they decide to nerf Spider Woman. Okay, I know I've made this comment before. This is really the reason why you should not be calling champions broken when they're not. This is the consequences of that. So they decided to nerf Spider Woman, and of course, a lot of people are upset about it. So this is what Karate Mike said. You can read it, but he just loves to spin his words around. He's been doing it since more than 3 years since I've talked to him in his channel. In his channel, he loves to spin his words around, and I think he hasn't changed. If not, he's gotten worse when it comes to spinning his words around. So basically, they're saying, let me just interpret what they're saying. Okay, they're basically saying they don't want her to be a tough defender, so they're nerfing her. But really, you have to be stupid enough to think that uh, it's because of defense. That's what they say. It's because of her defensive kit. They don't want her to be a tough defender. Yet they have all these 5 out of 5 defenders, like Serpent, Yelena, Bullseye. What else? Enchantress. I mean, so many. Rhino is really mostly a defender now. I mean, it's ridiculous. The bullshit they come up with is like you have to be dumb enough to actually believe that that this is they nerfed her for defensive purpose. Of course, this has been heavily nerfed offensively for Spider Woman, and really the biggest reason why I think for Kabam why they don't nerf Spider Woman is they just don't want to have good champions in the game. So how are you gonna make money from MCOC if you don't want to make good champions? Okay, I just don't understand. Maybe that they're just like, you know, if they were honest, actually, this could be a reason why. Well, we're losing money already. We're in an all-time low when it comes to MCOC. Imagine Kabam said that, and we have to nerf her offensively because we're losing money. And if you want to quit the game, I understand, but we're losing money and we have to nerf her. So maybe that's what it is. Imagine if they were actually being honest instead of having to come up with this bull that you have to be dumb enough to actually believe what they're saying. I don't know. You know, it's like since Mr. Sinister got nerfed, like everything has been a complete down spiral after that. I mean, there's already like going it was already pretty bad before that, but it's just been so terrible since Mr. Sinister got nerfed. People rank up Mr. Sinister, and people took Mr. Sinister the 6 star to rank 5, Mag Sig ascended, and there are people that took their 7 star rank 4. In some cases, a few took him to Max Sig, and then they nerfed Mr. Sinister, and people, of course, are not, people are upset, and then it's been a complete downward spiral. You got Summer's Fest event, it was a complete failure. Okay, there were a bunch of bugs in the game. Not only that, they for some reason they added was that MCOC poker and what is that Dimensional Arcade at the same time, which burned out a lot of people. And I made a video on that. And like, you really have nothing better to do with your life to play MCOC, to be able to do Summoner's Fest event and then MCOC Poker and Dimensional Arcade at the same time. And really, with the bugs and all the stuff that you had to do to complete, I think it burned out a lot of people. Not to mention, there was like they nerf the hacks to the ground when it comes to incursions. They limit the hacks for single players for some reason. So it was just a complete mess when it comes to the Summer's Fest event. So it's just been complete spiral since then. I mean, it's ridiculous. When it comes to Spider Woman, she's not even close to as good as Mr. Sinister. Like I mentioned, they nerfed Mr. Sinister before he got nerfed, without a doubt, he's the best champion in the game before he got nerfed. And not only that, they still haven't fixed his regen from his signature ability. I mean, even the nerf version, I think without a doubt, for average players, Mr. Sinister is the best champion in the game. Without a doubt. Okay, for average players. And that's why they don't want to fix his regen from his science ability because they realize he might be broken. I mean balance, balance. Okay, so yeah, they're just afraid to have good champions in the game, and I don't know if that's really a good financial status. Just look at this. Look at their best champions. I get it, Mr. Sinister is one of the best champions in the game, blah blah blah. But Hercules came out in 2021, right? Look at their sales compared to what it is now. Okay, and I love the 2020. These are like the peak years. I've said that in the past before. That was the X-Men, they got the Horseman ability, and they had to involve synergies. And for some reason, Kabam decides to get rid of synergies. I don't know why. They just want to get. I don't think, is it because they're losing money? I highly doubt it, because look at 2020. That's their highest revenue of ever. But synergies was everything in during that time. And when it comes to me, I never play any content without synergies, okay? I only play content with synergies. I never want to play any content besides game modes that have synergies. And even before that's because that's when I started playing this game, okay? Uh, I actually started playing this game in 2017, and it's close to almost peak. When 2017, they had two sales. They had Cyber Weekend and July 4th weekend. Now they have sales every month or every other month, so at least six times what it used to be. So it is insane. That is crazy that or four times, because they always had a banquet, I believe, but it wasn't as, I don't think it was as big in 2017. But yeah, so four times at least the sales of what they used to be. It's crazy that the way they, how what it is now compared to what it was back then. So I wanted to go in the game and make a video on it, but look at this. I've been waiting for like a minute, so we're not gonna go through the game, unfortunately. So I really wanted to show you the game and talk about the Elder difficulty. So when it comes to my pay to win account, I haven't completed the classic at all. And I'm only gonna do that because I'm not gonna be talking about I don't play anything without synergies. So that's why I'm not gonna do the Elder difficulty. But another failed thing about Kabam, the Elder difficulty, and I do believe it has to do with MSD, if not FinTech, for sure, because that's, when MSD started working for Kabam, as well as Karate Mike working full time for Kabam, the game has turned into shit. There's no question about it. Especially when it comes to the adaptive event quests, because who they have testing their quests, right? It's without, of course it's MSD, if not FinTech, right? I mean, when it comes to FinTech created his own content. I don't know if it's still in the game. I've never played it, but that, I think that was one of the most hated content in the game, you know. And for some reason they kept FinTech for MCOC, and they said, you know what, the first time didn't work, maybe the second time is the charm. I don't know. And when it comes to adaptive event quests, who knows? They got MSD testing it. Oh yeah, MSD can do it without items. So maybe since MSD can do it itemless, then I guess it's fine for the average person, or majority of the community, when that's obviously not true. I mean, of course it's not true. I mean, uh when it comes to, I didn't even bother with my pay to win account to explore the classic, because it's just, I mean, it's actually even easier now, which is crazy. And I don't plan to explore classic. I don't think it's too difficult. Maybe it can be toned down a little bit, but it's not. I mean, compared to what it used to be, damn, dude, it was really bad. Okay, and then and the thing is, when MSD testing these new content, new quests, whatever new contents they have, they're not, I don't think they're thinking very well that he's not only one of the best players in the world. This guy has the, like, when it comes to his account, he is literally in the top 1% when it comes to his pay to win accounts. So factor in that his pay to win account is in the top 1%, okay? and he's one of the best players in the world. Of course, he's gonna be able to do it itemless, right? I mean, duh. It's like common sense. And then, oh well, the game when it comes to its adaptive difficulty, oh, so it's gonna be easier for lower uh, progression and lower PIs. But I don't think it scaled very well because I feel like when it comes to my pay to win account, I can do it. Manage. I can barely manage to do it, but I feel like when it comes to the my free to play account, my lower rating account as well as lower progression, the Thronebreaker account, I feel like there's no way I'm ever gonna touch that. Also, the reward sucks for lower rank uh, progression. Like the reward sucks, the difficulty is just way too much for the lower level because they don't obviously not just me, but people who are in Thronebreaker they don't have the skill to be able to beat this adaptive event quest. So it's really unfortunate what it is, and you know, and they have these best players in the world testing their content instead of having like average player like myself to test it. I think they should. That's just my opinion. I feel like instead of having the best players test their content, they should have average players like myself or Seaton. I know I think Seaton's a little better than me, but it's kind of crazy to think that I'm an average player. Which because of social media, thinking I'm an average player. I mean, being a Valiant player alone is like you could be. I would say you could be. I would say above average player if you're a Valiant player. Not to mention, I've completed Necropolis twice, only using 6-star Aegon. I soloed the hardest fights and incursions with 5-star Angela and 5-star Hella. I mean, these are pre-nerf hacks for some of them, but some of them are post-nerf hacks as well. But so even I feel like uh, a person that's not your average person might not think I'm an average player, but I think social media makes me think I'm an average player, so that's what I think. I guess I don't know, but even my account, like you know, there's no way I'm nowhere near the middle when it comes to the top 50% when it comes to my account. Okay, if you think on average players in the top 50% of hero rating, I'm nowhere near that. I'm like closer to the top 10% when it comes to my hero rating. So there's really I can't really say I'm an average player, but I feel like I am through social media. I don't know, but I really think Kabam really messed up by thinking that giving it to MSD or even fintech, the best players in the world, to say, okay, we're gonna base our content based on MSD or fintech, and they think it's gonna be successful. Nah, I don't think so. It's not gonna help majority of the people. They're gonna be upset about it. It's just common sense. So that's what I think. I don't know what else. What's your thoughts about the game? I have not spent money in this game since the banquet of last year because Cascam they don't deserve my money, and you should not be spending money in the game either the way it is now. Thank you.